Welcome to my channel, where I share inspiring stories of ordinary people who fight back against injustice. This is one of my favorites. My name is Travis. I own 50 acres of beautiful ranch land in northern Arizona. Rolling hills, a clear creek, and an old red barn passed down from my grandfather. Meanwhile, subdivision residents started treating my ranch like it was their park. If they wanted to play games, I'd play harder. When the delivery arrived, my ranch hands and I spent 3 days installing a perimeter that no dog walker would dare cross. She tried to accuse me of endangerment, but every accusation died in the face of clear property deeds. Desperate, the HOA filed a civil suit claiming my ranch was historically connected to the land they developed, which made it communal. My attorney destroyed that argument in a single hearing. Not only was the claim baseless, but it also opened them to counterclaims for harassment and trespassing. When the judge ruled in my favor, Barbara's face turned the color of an overripe tomato. The HOA was ordered to pay my legal fees and issue a formal apology. Bright yellow signs every 20 feet. Private property, electrified fence. Do not touch. It was perfectly legal. My property, my rules. I sent it back, shredded. They finally got the message. The trespassing stopped. The neighbors stayed on their side of the fence. And that electrified fence still stands today as a reminder. If you try to bully a rancher, you'd better be ready for the consequences. When Barbara came back for her inspection, she shrieked when she saw the fence. Do you know someone who has stood up against bullying and come out ahead? Share your stories, inspire others. And thank you for watching. I invite you to join me on a platform where we can continue the conversation and help each other through difficult times. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Mr. Grant, this is unacceptable. This is dangerous. So is trespassing, I replied calmly. She tried to hand me another letter. I didn't take it. I'd find strangers wandering around with their dogs, kids playing by the creek, teenagers throwing trash. One Saturday morning, I found a couple setting up a picnic right in my pasture. My bull, Smokey, was eyeing them like lunch. When I told them to leave, they yelled that the HOA said this was public. I knew I needed to do something fast. For decades, our family raised cattle and grew hay here. This ranch wasn't just property, it was our heritage. He's a menace to the community. But public opinion was divided. Half the people commented that I was defending my rights. The other half called me a heartless old farmer. Then Barbara made her next move. She called the county code enforcement office to complain. An inspector showed up expecting some illegal setup. But after an hour of checking the property lines and paperwork, he looked at me and shrugged. You're well within your rights, Barbara. Nearly fainted. A local news crew showed up to cover the electrified fence controversy. Standing in front of my barn, the reporter asked, Mr. Grant, do you feel you've overreacted? I smiled. Not at all. If a stranger broke into your backyard every day, what would you do? He nodded, and the story went viral. When the nearby suburban sprawl started creeping closer, I knew I'd have to deal with nosy neighbors eventually. But I never thought they'd actually try to take my land. It all started when the local homeowners association expanded their jurisdiction. Some developer built a gated subdivision next door and apparently decided my ranch was within their community boundaries. One morning I was feeding the cattle when I noticed an envelope taped to my gate. Bold red letters read, Notice of Designation, Community Land. I laughed out loud. Was this a prank? Mr. Grant, she began in her syrupy voice. I'd like to discuss how we begin opening your property to the community. I folded my arms. You'll be doing no such thing. This is private land. Her eyes narrowed. I'm afraid it's been designated otherwise. As of last month's HOA vote, your ranch is now an official amenity. An amenity, I repeated. Lady, this isn't a clubhouse. She sighed like I was an unruly child. If you resist, we'll pursue legal action. And that was when I realized they were serious. Inside was a letter signed by the HOA president, Barbara, claiming that my ranch had been reclassified as shared community recreation space. They demanded I remove my fences so residents could access natural walking trails. I called their office immediately, the board receptionist answered. Hi, this is Travis Grant. I think there's a mistake. No mistake, sir. You'll be getting further instructions. Then she hung up. I stared at the phone in disbelief. Instructions for my own land? That weekend, Barbara herself marched down my driveway with a clipboard and a smug grin. I called my lawyer. confirmed that HOA claims over non-member property are rarely enforceable, but that didn't stop them from trying to intimidate me. I drove straight to the farm supply store and ordered 2 miles of electrified fencing. Within hours, social media exploded with angry HOA posts. Travis is endangering children. Suddenly, I was getting messages from ranchers across the country. Some called me a hero. Barbara, on the other hand, was furious. After the ruling, the HOA mailed me a so-called amicable agreement, offering to buy my land at a fraction of market value. And that electrified fence also serves as a great metaphor for standing up for yourself against those who would seek to harm you.